All right, what's happening, my mathletes? That's right, Mr. Muscarella coming at you. And in this video, we're going to take a look at solving trig functions, but this time, they're going to have some steps inside. So instead of just being sine of x equals whatever, we'll have some other things to take a look at. So grab your pencils, and let's get ready to go on that mathematical journey together. So let's check it out. We've got this equation here, 1/2 equals cosine of theta plus 180. And we've got to solve that between 0 and 360. So one of the things we want to look at, of course, is this blob right here. And I'm going to kind of sort of ignore that blob because this is a very simple trig equation. Where is cosine? 1/2. So we think about the unit circle. There's two places where that is. One is up here at 60 degrees, and the other one is down here at 300. So those are the two locations that we are going to be concentrating on. Now, as we concentrate on that, what we are simply going to do is take each one of these values, 60 and 300, and we're going to set that equal to whatever the blob is. And then we're going to make a little table of values and solve the arithmetic that we produce in said table of values. So let's roll. So we're going to take the first one, theta plus 180, and set that equal to just 60 degrees. But we're going to add on to that a little bit. We're going to have plus 360n, and don't forget n is an element in a set of integers. Now, why do we add 360, you ask? Well, I'm glad you did, because we're here at 60 degrees. If we wanted to go all the way around to find another coterminal angle, we'd have to add 360. All right, so that's why you add 360n, because we might rotate around more than once. So first step, subtract 180 degrees. So that will give us theta is going to be negative 120 plus 360n. Again, NEZ. So once we get to this part, we have theta isolated by itself. So no numbers being added to it. We don't have a 3 in front of the theta, nothing like that. Then we are simply going to use our TI-84 graphing calculator to help us come up with the values here for this. But first, let's go ahead and make our table. So we're going to have n, and then whatever that simplified version of the formula is, 120 plus 360n, we're going to write that. And we are going to take the values for n. We're going to start at 0, and then go to 1, and then go to 2, and we might have to go all the way to 3. So we'll go 0 to 3, and we're going to simply write the value n in anywhere we got an n. So we'll have 120 plus 360 times 0. And we'll have negative 120 plus 360 times 1. And then again, a negative 120 plus 360 times 2. And you get the idea from there. We won't need to go to 3, I don't believe, but just in case, we'll go ahead and write that down. So there's the pattern right there that will do that. Now, a lot of arithmetic going on there. So that is where we turn to the technology. So time to BOTC, as my good buddy Corp says. Time to bust out the calc. So we'll go ahead and break out our TI-84 graphing calculators. And let's see what we're going to do here. So first thing, you're going to go to y equals, and you're going to plug in whatever that equation was that we came up with, which in this case was negative 120 plus 360. And we'll use x instead of n. So once we have that in our graphing calculator, then we're going to go to the table of values. And you want to make sure that your table of values, so you hit second and then window, because that'll go to the table setup. You want to start that on 0 and make sure the independent is on auto, as is the dependent, and your delta table, you're going up by ones. Got that all set, then hit the second and a graph key to go into our table of values, and these will be the values that we write down to make sure our arithmetic is on point. So we got negative 120, 240, and 600. So negative 120, 240, 600, I believe the other one, well, we can just add 360 to that, so that would be 960. All right, so these are the values right here, but I got to look. My restriction was 0 to 360. Okay, so you're gone because you're negative, and these two guys are gone because they are more than 360. So the only possible value when I used the 60-degree ones was just that 240. So that's going to be one of our solutions. Now, we will do that same exact thing again. So that is what we got when we took a look at this 60 degrees. So 60 degrees, we came up with 240. We'll do the same thing again, but this time using 300. So as we start that one off, we're going to take that theta plus 180. So theta plus 180. We're going to set that, this time, equal to 300 plus 360n, and don't forget our NEZ. So we'll do that same process again. We'll subtract 180, so we get theta equals 120 plus 360 and don't forget the NEZ. Then we will make our table of values, this time with a slightly different formula in there. So I'll give you a moment to go ahead and do that. And this one, we won't really even need to do that much with this one because the value that we got for this particular angle to start with is 120. So if we put 0 in there and 1, so we'll have 120 plus 360 times 1, and then we'll have 120 plus 360 times 2, and we already know that's going to be more than 360 because that first one, oops, I put a 0 in there. I'm thinking ahead here. So we know the first one, 120 times 360 times 0, so 360 times 0 is gone, we just have 120. So that's definitely within the 0 to 360 range. And then if I have 120 plus 360 times 1, that's going to give us 480, and that's too big. Thanks for playing, you gone. So we only have to do our table this far on this one. So at the end of the day, we only have two values here, right? We've got 120 degrees and we have 240. So the only two values of theta are going to be 120 and 240 within that world, within that range. So those are the only two values that we come up with, 120 and 240. That are the solutions to this problem. Now you can always verify this on your graphing calculator by looking at where the two functions intersect. You can put 1/2 in one spot and cosine theta plus 180 in the other one. You look at Desmos. You got a lot of options on there to check yourself before you wreck yourself. So make sure you do that. And thank you guys for watching. Have an incredible day. And I will catch up with you later. Don't forget, there's a couple more coming at you with this series. So be sure to tune in and check them out on the next one. Catch up with you later. Peace out.